The collection here at the Macomb Railroad Museum dates all the way from the 1960s back to the 1800s. And it takes a lot of cooperation between the board of directors and civic leaders, and of course a lot of volunteers to keep this going. On the other hand, our next museum came about from the love of collecting by just one man and his passion for a different kind of engine.
No matter how old you are, I have things here that you may have had when you was a kid, and you can look at it and say, wow, that's what I used to ride right here. I was born in Corinth, Mississippi, and my father moved to Indiana from when I was like 2 till about 12, and then we moved back here, and he went into business here in town. He started the motorcycle business in 1962. We've been in business since then for 55, 56 years. The first motorcycle that we got when we were living in Indiana was a Hiawatha Doodlebug. And I have one in the museum here. And I have a couple of pictures of me and my brother on it in the museum. So that was the first motorcycle we got, for sure. 30 years later, I didn't even know I was collecting bikes, but that's what happened. Well, in the museum, I have dirt bikes, I have racing bikes, street bikes, I have American bikes, European bikes, Japan, pretty much all over the world. When motorcycles first came out, they were not a cheap form of transportation. They were a rich person's toy. Some of the Indians I got here, I've got a 1926 Indian, and it sold for $500 when it was new, but you could buy a brand new Ford Model T for $200. I count it as an investment. I did do the stock market for a little while, and I didn't really like that because I couldn't control it. But these motorcycles, I know them, I know their value, I can control them, I can look at them, I can touch them. So to me, it's an investment plus a passion. My family likes them, my children, my wife, they're all, they like going to these different places we go. Nobody has a problem with any of it. And it kind of goes in with my business here, so it's works out for me. It works out really good. Now my friends, most of my closest friends are collectors, so they all like it.
We're both collectors. We're all collectors, and we have a good time. We go a lot of places together. We have all the same interests, same age. Just old guys having fun. That's just the bottom line.
I've got a bike, it's a 64 Honda Dream. So it's kind of a rat bike, and I just painted it with Rhino truck bed liner, and I named it Rhino. And it's just kind of a rat bike, but I ride it a lot. I ride it on the Trans-America Trail. It's a bike that I use for that a lot, and if you just look at it, it looks like it wouldn't make it to town and back, but I've rode it lots of miles, and it's been very reliable.
Bike riding for me at my age is all about the adventure, the back roads. It's not down the interstate. It's seeing stuff, and we have a lot of stuff to see in Mississippi. I was riding one of my bikes, and I was 16 again, and as I passed a plate glass window, I see my reflection, and it was a fat old man on a 1965 Honda.
I like talking to people as they go back to their childhood and remember things they had and what their father had, and it's a lot of fun talking about that.
Once you start one of these old bikes, the sound, the smell, the vibration, it's just a time machine.
I have brochures, and I have helmets and clothing and trophies, different things like that, but it's all related to motorcycles. In World War II, they used a lot of motorcycles They had airborne divisions where they parachuted them out of planes, and a lot of GIs rode them, so when they got back, they wanted a motorcycle. So we do have some wartime bikes. My grandson races motocross. He's a 3-time national champion. I have all 3 of his bikes in here. So got a lot of racing history in with the street bikes and dirt bikes also. Motorcycles are my passion. It's what I do in my spare time. I ride. I go to auctions, swap meets, and I really do like riding a lot. And most of my riding is done on my vintage bikes too. My favorite bikes in the museum has to be some of the ones that I bought first. I have 2 bikes in here that I bought brand new in the 60s, and I raced them. One I raced at Daytona, finished 2nd. Another bike is a scrambler that I raced scramble races back in the 60s. I did that for several years, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Then I have some other bikes that are a little more rare. I have a 1969 750 Sandcast Honda that's very low serial number. And then sometimes people ask me, what is my favorite bike? And I say, well, it's the next one I get.
Thanks for joining us. If you like what you see, subscribe to Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Till next time, I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.